3, 2, 1, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Open Bar Review. As always, it's Wildfire Paul Wedding, and with me as always, it's Leopold Knopp. We're at Riprock's, and we'll be reviewing Silence. Knopp, tell us all about it.
Silence takes place in the 1630s during a period of intense persecution of Christians by the Japanese government. In Portugal, they learn that Father Cristóvão Ferreira, played by Liam Neeson, has been captured by the Japanese authorities and apostatized. He's renounced Christ in public. And a couple of his pupils, Sebastião Rodrigues and Francisco Garupi, played by Andrew Garfield and Adam Driver, respectively, very upset by this information, and they demand to go to Japan, find Ferreira, and bring him back to the faith. And so they go to Japan and find out firsthand what happens to priests in Japan in the mid-1600s. This is not good things.
No.
Very bad things happen to them in this movie.
This was a pretty upsetting movie to watch. I mean, it was gorgeous, and I loved the themes, the characters, and how they went through what they went through. But man, there's a lot of fucked up shit in this movie. I mean, a lot of people died.
A lot of people died.
In very religious ways.
A lot of people died badly.
Yeah.
Scorsese makes a big point of sticking the camera still on the torture.
Yeah.
And just letting the actors do the work. It was a Martin Scorsese movie, by the way. That was the big draw for this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't Goodfellas. There wasn't any Rolling Stones music.
Not a single Rolling Stones song in this movie. I like just seeing Andrew Garfield's transformation from this like heavily religious person to meeting his apostatized teacher. The conflict of religion in the movie was really good to me.
I really liked his character and him. Andrew Garfield's.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was already in The Social Network.
Yeah.
It was one of the best movies ever made. But this is still kind of a breakthrough for him, I feel like. He was very, very good in this movie.
I was definitely showcasing his acting ability, and he did a phenomenal job.
I loved how they reduced him from like a real holy man to just kind of an arrogant prick pretty quickly. He kept being super aggressive with these guys to try and get himself martyred because he just didn't know what else to do.
He had to deal with some shit though, like that Kachichiro character was such a massive pain in the ass.
The guy that brought Rodriguez and Garupi to Japan, former Japanese Christian who was exiled, he escorted them to Japan, brought them to the Hidden Christian Village of the Hidden Christians for Naruto fans.
After he turns into the priest, he still tries to get confession and forgiveness from him, and he's just constantly trying that till the end of the movie. Just keeps showing up.
Just every half hour, he'll show up, beg for confession, and then immediately betray Rodriguez. Like, immediately. And then he'll show up half an hour later and like, please give me confession. And Rodriguez, because he's an asshole instead of a priest, it's like, oh man, fuck this guy. He's a bad priest.
I mean, I can't blame him that much.
He keeps quoting Jesus unironically. He's like, I thirst. Thirst. 300 silver is 10 times what Judas got for turning in Jesus, and he makes like special note of that. He's like, I'm worth 10 times what Jesus is.
Yeah, it's one of the things I didn't really care for in the movies, that every once in a while this like slideshow PowerPoint of some religious figure would pop up on the screen. Mm-hmm. Like either literally or like you would see it. God literally talks at one point, and that it was just a little corny to me.
That's the part that kind of ruined it for me. Silence refers to God's speech in the movie. He's a priest, God's supposed to talk to him and shit, but he's silent. And then toward the end, we eventually hear God be like, it's okay, apostatize. The two main Scorsese passion projects, this and Last Temptation of Christ. How it ends. Spoilers for 1988 movie. Assholes. Willem Dafoe, he's Jesus, he's on the cross, he's dying, he's like, I'm not okay with this really fucking hurts. And then this little girl walks up and she's like, I'm your guardian angel, you don't have to suffer anymore. God is fine with what you've done so far. You can come with me and live a happy life. And he lives and dies of old age. And then Judas shows up and he's like, that's not your guardian angel, that's Satan. You've been tempted, Christ.
Oh,
and
shit.
then it flashes back to when he was on the cross. It's been like 10 minutes at this point. And then it flashes back to when he's on the cross. He's like, no, I'm the Messiah. And it's pretty meaningful. But I thought that they were going to do a thing like that.
Yeah.
At the very tail end, actual Jesus shows up. And he's like, no, that wasn't me. Obviously, it's not okay for you to step on my face, dick. That would have been okay, but they just played it off completely unironically.
Yeah.
The part that I really had a problem with, he spends an entire lifetime ratting on Christians who try to come to Japan.
Yeah.
And then they give him a Buddhist burial and make sure no one can come by and put like a cross in his, or whatever. And then the last shot of the movie is it zooms in on his casket, and he's got like a cross in his hands.
Yeah.
And the movie's like, oh, he was actually Christian the whole time.
Yeah, it's a little unbelievable. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you let all those people die and ratted on all those other people. Like, how is this okay?
There's even hints that Liam Neeson's character, Father Ferreira, was like that. Still Christian, but, you know, he's letting people hang upside down and be tortured for that shit. So it's like, what's going on?
Stomp on Jesus weekly.
Last call, Knopp.
Sorry.
How many beers did you give Martin Scorsese for this movie?
Well, we've got an entire distillery with Scorsese's name on it.
Yeah.
Like, just in case he ever wants to take it ezy and retire, just as a money making. 3 or 4 beers. This is very well shot, well colored. They went to Taiwan, which is an incredibly tough and political place to be. Got magnificent performances. Kind of a sad, weird torture porn, but it's still very well made.
I would also give Scorsese 4 beers for this. It's still Scorsese and it's still made fantastically. It's a movie that begs rewatching, and I look forward to seeing this again to further dissect the symbols that he was going for in that movie.
How many beers would you want to see this movie again?
Oh, I would recommend sober for this movie. I think you got to really be fully aware to catch everything that he's doing in this movie.
I would recommend being shit-faced so that you can deal with all the horrible torture.
That's not a bad argument. All right, as always, coming to you from Riprock, it's Paul Wedding, Leopold Knopp. Open bar review, silence, cheers.
Cheers.